Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sunniva.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at the missing expedition and expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yes, another expansion review here on the channel. This is the second expansion for the Lost Ruins of Arnak. We also did a review for the first one called Expedition Leaders, which we really liked.
Yes.
And now we actually also own a copy of Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Aha!
We have been playing the pre-production copy since we first got it, and we played it with the last one. And then we got this one,
Yes.
and we needed the solo components, and I put them somewhere when we got the production copy, and I thought I knew where they were. I looked for them for 1.5 hours, then I ordered a copy of the game so that we could actually play the game and not just look at the expansion and be like, it's there. We own it. This was sent to us from the publisher, CG, so you know that before we going into the stuff. We don't review that many expansions, so this is not going to be like our full type of review. We're just going to go through the stuff that's in here, obviously, and let you know what we think about this expansion and if you think it's something that you should go for or not, depending, of course, on who you are and where you live, and if you like Lost Ruins of Arnak or not.
That is a great question,
If you don't
actually.
own the game and you're not planning to buy it, I don't think you should get this expansion.
No.
Spoiler alert.
That's wise advice.
Wise advice. This thing called an expansion, I forgot the word expansion there for one second. This expansion is, as far as I know, kind of based on a print and play campaign that was made for solo. I think it was out almost like when the game came out, something like that.
Yes.
So this game then basically is a campaign for a Lost Ruins of Arnak, not the Lost Ruins of Arnak. There's other stuff for not a campaign, but we're going to talk about the campaign first. The campaign used to be only solo. Now it's been kind of reworked so that you can now play it both solo and 2-player cooperatively. You cannot play it with more than 2 people. Let us know about BizLab. Let us know a bit about this campaign, please, Sunniva.
Yes, it is a 6-chapter campaign.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a lot or a little to you, but we have not played through it all.
No.
And you can play it, as you said, 2-player or
Or 1 player.
Or 1 player. And the solo bot, which you use for both solo and 2-player,
And also,
is super smooth.
It's the one that you use to play normal solo. It's basically the normal solo mode, but we hadn't played it before.
I hadn't played with it before, so...
And we thought talking about it makes sense because we used to hate dummy players.
Yes. And when we see that in a 2-player, well, not that much anymore, but
no,
when we used to see that, we were like, maybe not 2-player with this game.
Yeah.
Let's steer away from that. But this worked very, very well. So if you are like we were, don't be afraid of the solo box.
No, this one is super, super duper smooth. Let's just briefly tell you what the campaign is. You said like it's 6 chapters, which means basically it's 6 different puzzles for you to solve. You are playing Lost Ruins of Arnak with some twists. Like in the first one, for example, you have all these events at all of the locations, and then you have like these different goals that you have to reach in order to win that campaign. So it's not that much about scoring points. You will be scoring points, which is most likely, I think, for like having a score after the campaign. Basically, it's going to be like my points, your points, halved, and then you subtract the points that the bot got, basically. But more than that, you're trying to solve that puzzle and win by getting the thing done, basically, that you're doing. There's also a story.
Yes.
What did you think about like the story elements?
Well, as far as stories in board games go, this isn't the worst one. Yeah, that's true. Like Euro game stories tend to be quite bland.
Yes.
This I thought was fitting to the original theme of the game and made sense and also was a little fun.
It was just enough for me so that I was intrigued to know more about that expansion and about the story going forward in the scenarios.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to play these scenarios? Kind of like, because we are not the biggest cooperative gamers.
No.
So how did this feel? How did this feel? Basically, that's the open-ended question. You answer it. How did it feel?
It was very surprising because it felt very different from any other co-op Euro game that we've played. And it basically feels like we're both playing solo but we aren't like we aren't against each other. But it feels like I'm doing a solo puzzle, and sometimes I'm asking, okay, are you going to go there?
Yeah.
Because I kind of need to go there, and I wanted to ask you, or we have to get this done this round. Are you taking
care of that?
Or should I do something? And you have these little doves, like letter doves, that you can send like one resource back and forth each, which I also enjoyed. But if you don't like co-op, I think you should still like...
If you love Arnak.
You could like this either way, because it doesn't really feel like co-op.
No, but it's co-op, but it's kind of like... and you can play it a lot more cooperatively than we did. Like, you can plan a lot. I don't think... like, the scenarios we did, you didn't need like heavy planning. It was kind of like, okay, we both agree what's kind of our goal here. Let's try to do that. For example, the first one, I think it's not really spoilers because it's like it's going to be scenarios. But if you don't know anything, then skip like the next 15 seconds or so. Basically, there was one where we needed to climb the temple.
Yes.
And then we both had to do it. Climb to like a specific part of the temple. So then it's like really, we are just playing the best we can and basically just trying not to block each other from the actions that we need. So for my tastes, I like this. I think that it was good, but if you play Arnak solo, or if you like cooperative games and you are 2 players or a couple or whatever you are, and I think this is like a great value for this expansion.
Yes, I agree. If you're not going to use it for that, there's still a lot of stuff in the expansion.
Good transition to the next part of the video, talking about the other stuff.
Thank you for pointing it out.
Makes the transition so much better.
Not smooth. It has 2 new leaders. It has 2 new temples. I really enjoyed the different temples because that is a big part of this game. Is that puzzle?
Moving on that track.
I really enjoy the variability on that. You have new guardians with different abilities, and you have new bonus tiles. And some of the abilities for the guardians is like...
all of them for the new ones.
Oh yeah, all of them are draw a card. And you see like what category of card it is, kind of. It doesn't say me anything, but...
No, basically it is the encounter cards from the expansion, or from the campaign.
Yes.
And there is 5 of these guardians, and each of them is gonna ask you to draw a one from like scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
So if you play that before playing the expansion and you're planning to play the expansion, you will get like story spoilers. But if you play it outside the expansion, you don't really read the stuff, you just choose one of the 2 sides.
Yes, and what you do is like you get a random reward, so you don't know what you get before you actually go there. Yeah. Which I didn't really enjoy. I don't like this what do you call it, output randomness in that way. But I think that the cards worked really well in the campaign because it made some flavor with the setting and the story throughout the campaign, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, and I think like this is, I think it's a neat way of using more of the campaign stuff in the game. And many people don't mind that kind of, oh, I got this thing. But I like to know what I'm getting basically before I'm getting it. The 2 new leaders, I really enjoyed both of them. We played both of them each, but both played both of the leaders. Really like there's one mechanic, I think that's what the character is called. Yeah. Which has like a machine that you're moving around and you're trying, like it's a puzzle. It's kind of like it's sometimes easier to get resources, sometimes harder, because the beginning cards don't have like you get a compass. It's always like move this thing, then you get to choose a gear, you get to choose one of the things, and then also you get these upgrades to it, which are better, and then you can choose to do that or 2 of the other ones. And it's a neat puzzle for that character, really like that one. And the other one, it's a journalist trying to write all these articles to get also these special bonuses, and those are double-sided, and you use only 2 of 4, I think, each time. So that character has a lot of variability in what kind of strategies it can go for, depending on what kind of abilities you get from that character. Yeah. So I really like these 2 characters. It's been a while since we played the other ones, but it felt kind of like maybe they were like a tiny bit more complex, but I don't remember that because it's been a while since we played the other characters.
Yeah, we played some of the other characters when we played a campaign, just not to play the same characters over and over again. And I agree,
it's true.
This feels like a little step up, but not that much, and they don't feel
just
like
different.
Yeah, they're a little different, a little more complex, I think, but not more powerful.
No.
And I thought the first time I played with the mechanism?
Yeah.
Mechanic.
The mechanism.
Mechanic. Yes.
Yeah.
That, I have so many like different bonuses to choose from each time. This is going to be AP prone to me. But it feels really intuitive to be like, okay, are my limited options. I'm gonna do this and this and that. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just going to jump back to the campaign and talk about one more thing in the campaign. Because you get points, but you also get these symbols when you play the game. So if you play solo, and then it's going to be like replayable in that way, because like you're going to know the story, but when you, after each scenario, you're going to mark which symbols you got on this track, basically, on a pad. And whenever you reach like a number, you're going to read that and get a special card unlocked. And also there's achievements. That's kind of important part of it, which we totally forgot. And achievements that you can unlock. So you also, and those are kind of hard if you're not like super good at the game. It was hard enough to beat like the goal. And then you can unlock cards basically for the campaign with these achievements. So that's kind of adding more of a replayability, kind of like a video game feeling of, I'm going to do that one again. Now I'm going to try to go for all of the achievements so I can get all the cards before going into the next scenario. So briefly, who is this game, or not game, expansion for?
I think it fits especially well if you play Arnak with solo or a two-player co-op or just two-player.
And like co-op games.
Yeah, and like co-op games.
Or tolerate them.
Or tolerate them. Remember that this had a little different feeling than other co-op games that we have played. Or if you love Arnak and you just want more variability, but if you're not playing it for the solo or the campaign, there are some things that you are, I don't want to say missing out on, but then you're not using everything, basically.
No, I will say, like, if you don't own the expedition leaders, that is the expansion to get first.
Yes.
If you're not like doing it for the campaign, and even though you're going to do it for the campaign, I think the campaign also gets way better if you have the other leaders, so you can like
mix it up,
a bit more variability. I will say this expansion is mostly for the campaign, but now I'm happy to have it because I really enjoyed, and just new stuff is always nice for a game. New cards, all of these things that just add more variability to the deck, more all of that. And also like the two new leaders. So like I'm happy to have it. But yeah, like the other expansion is the one to go for first. Let's do some final thoughts for this one. Before that, if you are still here and you enjoy what we do, or you're new to the channel and you just haven't done so yet, you can help us out in a big way. And you might think it's very small for you. How can it be so big for us? It is. That's how YouTube works. And what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about victory points.
Yes, and we get victory points in live and YouTube when you click that subscribe button down there. You can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
Yes, so final thoughts time for Expedition Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion.
What am I rating again? I don't know.
This expansion.
I liked it. I enjoyed our plays of it in the co-op campaign.
Yeah.
I don't think we will play it anymore because...
The campaign, no.
No, I enjoyed it, but it felt so similar to playing regular Arnak that I would just play regular Arnak.
That is
for
because
me,
we
personally.
are us, yeah.
We are us.
We are us.
Toys R Us, no. And I like as I talked about, the different temples. I like the two new leaders, but I completely agree with you. The other expansion is a must before this one.
Yeah.
I think this is a solid expansion. The value of this really depends on if you're playing it for the solo and co-op. And since we're not doing that, I think it's a good expansion, but I think that's where it is for me. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay, cool. I think like it's more Arnak. I like Arnak. I think Arnak is a great game, and this is more of it. Like especially getting the two new temples is kind of like the biggest deal here. I think adding lots of variability in doubt, and also 2 more leaders to choose from. You have a lot of stuff. Like it's making the game still fun. Like the game is fun. And now you're adding variability. That's kind of like what you're adding here. And there's like one new concept, that is those drawing cards, which isn't for us. And I enjoy mostly everything else about it.
Yeah.
Like if you are heavy into getting that campaign played, I think like as you said, like that's the biggest value. And I'm doing Best Heroes 4 again. I liked it. I enjoyed the puzzles of the campaign. I enjoyed. I would have liked to play the rest, but like time and all of that. And since co-op games isn't our biggest thing, I liked it a lot for that. But it's gonna be like adding it to the box and playing that from now on. There's no reason not to add these things in it because it's just more stuff for the game. So I liked it. I'm going to give it a 7.5. A great expansion. I would rate Expedition Leaders higher, but it's also a good expansion for the game. And that is the end of this video that you've been watching right now. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.